What's up, everyone? This is Shul, aka AIRDROP, and today I've got a video where I'm showing you how to do day trading and how to open simple long and short positions on Bitcoin or any altcoin for that matter. I've been getting this question or requests for this video quite often on people saying, where should I be opening a long or where should I be closing a short or opening it? So that's why I'm going to be showing you guys a very simple trading technique. It's a simple strategy that's making use of range trading and support and resistances. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to draw these, where to open a long, and I'll also actually open a long or open limit orders for longs or shorts on the exchange that I use called Bybit. Now, if you have any questions for this video, be sure to leave them in the comments below, as I do like to reply to them and help you guys out further. And be sure to follow me on Twitter. That's at @AltCryptoGems, where I do daily crypto content and share pretty much anything that's happening within the crypto world. Now, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well if you want more of these type of videos. And without further ado, let's get started with the charts. All right, so first of all, what you're going to want to do is open up TradingView. Now, TradingView is obviously the website where you're able to see all the charts and have the most amount of options. So that's where we go. And for this example, I'm going to be using Bitcoin. Now, you can use pretty much any coin that you want, but as Bitcoin is the biggest one and usually has the most amount of liquidity, it's the one that I like to use, but you can also use, for example, Ethereum or any other coin for that matter. Now, the same goes for the time frame. I'm actually using the 4-hour time frame. Because of this, you won't be opening or closing that many trades by using this method. We're not talking about multiple trades per day, which you could do if you want. You can actually lower the time frame and go towards, for example, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, or even 1 hour and use the same technique. But I like to do a bit less trades and more safe trades. So that's why I'm going to be using the 4-hour time frame and the Bitcoin for this example. So what are we going to be doing, or what are we going to use? What we're going to do is range trading. And what does this mean? Usually whenever a coin, for example, Bitcoin, is going up or down, it's finding a support level where it's usually bouncing, and it's finding a resistance level where it's going down usually. Now, once it has found such a resistance and support level, it usually is trading within a range. So it's sort of going between two levels. Now, in these levels, you can actually easily open longs and shorts, and usually the win rate of that is around 50 to 55%. So on average, you're going to be break even with a win rate. However, the trades that you're going to lose will only lose around half of the trades that you're going to win. The reason for this is we're going to open trades with a risk to reward ratio of 2. So whenever you win a trade, you're making double the amount of money than once you're losing a trade. So if you then have that compared to having a 50% win rate, that means that in the end, you're going to make a lot of money by doing this, and especially seeing it's considered pretty safe. So first of all, what we need to do is how to find such a range. How can we find these resistance and support levels, and how can we find out whether a coin or a Bitcoin in this matter is trading within a range? Now, as you can see, and to be honest, the more you do this, the more you will see these patterns happening. There are a few ranges where crypto is actually trading right now. Now, what I mean with this is you see, as you can see here, it's a huge pump with a huge dump. But in between, crypto or Bitcoin has actually been trading inside of this range. Now, the same goes for this one. You see it's a massive pump happening, a massive dump happening. But actually, Bitcoin was trading inside this range and actually a bit lower range over here. So those were a couple ranges already. And the same goes for here. In between those pumps and basically dumps, we've seen a range happening over here with a small drawback going down. And the same is happening over here. We saw a dump and we're trading inside a range right now over here. And actually we can extend it to this one over here. So those are simple ranges that we need to trade. Now, how can we find out where the resistance and support levels are? So what we then do is we are going to draw some lines, obviously. Now, usually whenever I want to do some range trading, obviously you're going to want to start with the ones where we're sitting at right now. So what I mean with that is we can draw some lines over here. We can draw some lines over here. But if we want to open a long or a short, this is the moment where we're going to be opening a trade. So there's no point drawing the resistance and support here for this matter. So what we need is we need to be looking at this area right now where we're at. So as you can see, we had a range over here. We broke out actually to the top and went into a dump back into the range. And the same has been happening over here where we tried to go up and we've hit a resistance. So what I like to do is see whether this has been a resistance in the past as well. So let's say we draw a rectangle over here close towards this resistance. So let's go up a bit and start at these wicks. I like to take the wicks as well. And what I do is I draw a line backwards. So let's see what we've been hitting before. And as you can see already, this has been an exact resistance before. And let me show you guys that perfectly. We had a resistance over here. We had a resistance over here, over here. We had it over here, but we broke out of it and we dumped down. We then tried to hit it over here as well, over here as well. Same happened here, broke out, and then we broke down again. And this was actually a resistance. We had a wick above it and then went down, and it was a resistance over here. So this area would be a good resistance if you ask me to open some trades. Now you can actually make this rectangle a bit smaller to close your range with, to make it a bit tighter, but there's not that much of a difference if you ask me. So if we then have the resistance range, we also need a support range. So how can we find the support range? Like I said, we are in the range right now, and this is the exact support. As you can see, we've had some wicks down here. So what I then do is I draw a line over here or the rectangle. I draw it back and see where we're at. As you can see, let me take the wicks again. Now you could actually make this a bit more tight as well, but I like to usually add in a couple moments. And then we look back as well. Now, as you can see, we had a support over here. We had it as a support over here. We actually fell down a bit and then bounced over here. And now we've seen it support over here. We had the wick down here, over here, over here, over here, and the same story, we broke down and then back up again. So this would be a good support level as well. Now let me actually write that down for you guys. This would be my resistance. Microphone is actually in the way. This would be my resistance area, whereas this would be my support area. So now that we have that cleared up, we are going to see a range trading. As you can see, the resistance, the support, and we were trading inside of this range over here. We had a minor breakout, but instantly back into the range. We had a bounce over here, been trading inside of this range. Then we had a breakout, so we formed a new range over here, and we actually dumped back inside the same range, and we had it been going over here for quite a while. Now, as you can see, we actually were trading inside this first range from May 2023 up until June 2023. And over here, we went back into it 17th of August. And right now we're sitting at the 28th of September. So these are multiple months basically of range trading. So the question then is, what trades are we going to open and what trades are we going to close? And at what points do we open them or close them? Now, what I usually like to do is have a look at what we've been seeing. So like I said, let's say a trade is going down or up, doesn't really matter. We're going to open some longs or some shorts. Now, if we get near a support area, that is the moment where we're going to open a long. Because usually, and that's what we've been seeing over here, we go down, we then hit the support, and then we go back up, which is easy long. Same goes for here. We went down, we then went back up. The same goes for here. We actually hit the support, went back up, been trading a tiny bit, hit the support again, been trading a tiny bit. Here we would have been stop lossed, and then we went back up again. Now the same goes for a resistance area. So let's say we are at a resistance area, even if you came here, which was a huge dump. So I don't think we would have been able to catch this trade, but we would open a short. So we went back down, and then eventually you go back up again towards the resistance. Then you open a short over here. So you go down again, we hit the support, and then over here you hit a short again and you go down. So that is what we're going to try and achieve. So where do we open them? Now, let me actually show you a resistance example. So at a resistance, we're going to open a short. Now, like I said, the box is indicating the resistance. As you can see, in the past, we've hit the bottom of the box as the resistance line. So there's no point opening a trade above the resistance because usually you're not going to hit them. So what I usually do is I check the bottom of the box, which in this example would be 27,470. And then a bit below is where I would be opening my short. So let's say 27,470. What I usually do is I go down a tiny bit. So around here, for example. So that's 27,398. So 27.4K is where I would be opening my short. Now let's take this example. For example, we had it over here. Usually what you do, and this is a pretty difficult one to show you, is I usually have my stop loss just a bit above the previous high. Now, in this example, it's very difficult because the previous high was around here. So it's hard to set a stop loss right now. So let's say we had it around this wick as we'd be opening it around here. Then what you want to do is you want to have a risk to reward ratio of at least 2, like I said. So that in this case would have been around this area. So for this example, we would have opened a trade around here, which was 27.4. We had our stop loss around 28.157, and the profit or the take profit would be at around 26.181. That's an example number 1. Now let me show you another example of a resistance. But before we do that, I want to show this in real life to you guys. So what I'm going to do is whenever I open a trade, I'm going to be opening a limit, long or short as well. I actually opened a few already, but I'll be showing you guys. Now, the exchange that I do this on is obviously Bybit. Bybit right now is the exchange that I like to use, and a lot of people do so as well. It's my opinion, the best exchange that we have right now. It's got a lot of liquidity and the UX is very user-friendly. Now, actually, I'm partnered up with Bybit and I'm allowed to give away some pretty hefty discounts on trading fees. And whenever you're signing up using my link in the description below, you're getting insane amounts of deposit bonuses as well. So if you want to do this as well, my advice is go to Bybit, sign up with the link below, and start opening some longs and shorts. So let's go on to example number 2. And after that, I'll be showing you the live longs or shorts that I'm doing as well. So another example was this one. Let's say we hit that resistance as well. As you can see, like I said, usually I open a limit order or a resistance order or a short order a bit below the resistance. So I would have probably opened it around somewhere around here. So 27.356. Like I said, I usually have my stop loss just a tiny bit above the previous high, which was over here. And then a risk to reward ratio of 2. So at this point, the trade would still be open and nothing would have happened yet. Because as you can see, we actually opened the trade over here. The stop loss has not been hit yet and the trade has been going down. So we are in a profit right now, but we did not hit this level yet, which is where I'd be closing it. So that is an example of a trade that would still be open right now. Now, let me also show you an example of a long trade. Because like I said, I do some longs, but also some shorts. Now, as you can see, we were trading over here and the same goes for the support lines. Usually I open a long position just a tiny bit above the support box because otherwise it's going to be very difficult to actually hit such a trade. So what I do, let's say we hit this wick over here and we had a limit order just a tiny bit above the support box. I would have opened it over here. And the stop loss, like I said, would be a bit below the previous wick, which is over here. So probably around this area. Then a risk to reward ratio of 2 would mean that we would be sitting at around this area. So we would have opened a trade here, stop loss over here, and a take profit over here. Now, if we then have a look, we would have already hit this at around this area. So that's around 1 day probably, and then the trade would have been opened or closed, sorry, with a profit. Now, obviously, this is not always going to go well. And let me show you an example of a trade that would not have gone well. So let's say we had the same story over here. Maybe this one was actually profitable, but we had a wick down here. So once again, we opened a limit order and we would have opened a trade over here with the previous low basically as the stop loss, so around here, and then a risk to reward ratio of 2. So around here. And actually, in this example, this would have been a profitable trade as well because we hit it over here. But let's say we did not hit this. This wick does not happen and would have been trading like this. Then, as you can see, we would have hit a stop loss over here and would have lost that trade. Now, what I want to tell you is, and that's exactly what I said in the beginning, you're not going to win all trades. The target is around 50% win rate. That way, you're not losing, but you're also not gaining on trade amounts. However, because we're having a risk to reward ratio of 2, that means whenever you're losing a trade, that doesn't really matter because once you win 1 trade, you're going to make up for 2 losses. Now, if you then know that you have a win rate of 50%, you're going to eventually make profit. So finally, what I want to show you guys is me opening these trades right now, because I usually get the question, this is all fun, but how can we actually open a trade, or what should we be doing right now? So this is a difficult one, as we're pretty much sitting exactly within the resistance and the support. So what I do in this situation is I usually split up my portfolio and open a limit order for the resistance and a limit order for the support. And once we actually go towards either one of those, I usually take away the other one and improve the other one. So in this scenario, let me show you guys where I'd be opening a resistance and a support, or a short or a long. First of all, let's go to a short position, so towards the resistance. Like I said, I'd be opening it just a bit below this box, so around here probably, with a stop loss just above the previous wick high, which is around here, with a risk to reward ratio of 2. So around here. So as an example, and let me show you on Bybit, like I said, we're going to open a short at 27,387. So let's say 27,387 for 50% of my sort of funding. The leverage you can set up yourself, let's do a 5x in this example, is where I'd be opening a limit order and a short order. So as you can see right now, it says a limit order for once it hit 27,387, it's going to open a short. Now you can already actually set your target points and or your take profit points and your stop losses. So let's fill this in as well. Like I said, the stop loss would be at 28,198, and the take profit would be at around 25,807. So in this example, if we lose this trade, like I said, we're going to win out or lose out on 14.8%. However, if we win this trade, we're going to win out on 28.8%. So almost double, like we said. And that is why you can actually lose 50% of these trades, because the ones that you're going to win are going to be double the amounts that you're going to lose. So confirm. And as you can see, the order has now been set. Once this price has been hit, it's going to open a short and automatically add in these target points and stop losses. So let's do another one for the long position. So let's remove this. And now we're going to open a long position once it hits the support. So like I said, just a bit above the box, so probably around here. And then have the stop loss just a bit below the previous wick, which is around here, with a risk to reward ratio of 2. So that will be around here. So we're going to open a long position on 25,453. 25,453 is when we're going to be opening a long position. And the target point would be 26,597. And the stop loss would be at around 24,850. And as you can see, once again, we'd be losing out on 12% and we'd be gaining 22.4%. So double if we actually have this trade running. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much all there is to it. Now you just have to wait, see which one is going to hit, and see if it's going to be a profitable trade or not. Now, like I said, this can actually take a day or two or even more. And if you want to do more risky trades or you want to do more of them, you can actually lower down the time frames to go towards 1 hour, for example, or 30 minutes. And then you're able to have a tighter range, as the support and resistance levels will be a bit closer and you can open more trades. But do take care, because it is more risk if you do so. So that is pretty much it for this video. Like I said, be sure to follow me on Twitter. That's at @AltCryptoGems for daily crypto updates. Follow me here, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and like this video if you enjoyed the video. And be sure to use the link in the description if you want to start trading on Bybit as well, as you'll be getting the best discounts on the trading fees. Now, thanks everyone for watching. Leave a like so I know you guys like this video, so I'll be doing more of them. And see you guys at the next one.